Please don't take pictures of me. So I'm not good at this, but just want to welcome everybody to celebrate Jeanette, and it's so nice to see all these people here. She has a great Sooner Start family as well as Health Department family, and I'm glad that we ended up doing this together so we could all come together to celebrate her. Didn't know, Mark, would you like to say something?
Well, we appreciate you all letting us come in and be a part of your celebration also. Jeanette's been so special for our program, and as many of you know, Jeanette's been with Sooner Start since basically Sooner Start started. In fact, John hired Jeanette as one of the first RCs and has been with us ever since as resource coordinator and regional coordinator, and just had a profound impact on our families and in our program in general. And actually, Jeanette's one of the ones with our monitoring team with Luann created that from the ground up, and Cynthia just really making it what it is today. So we appreciate you and just want to honor you today.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Introduce some of my family that's here today. This is my husband, Fred, and my sister, Jenny Small, and a friend, Becky Hostetler, and my sister, Lisa Bowler. So they came to support me today, as they have throughout. And kind of like Mark said, I was reminiscing back on when I first started, and I don't know if very many people know, I had transferred here with the health department. And I had reminded Jay of this. Jay Smith, the administrator here, was up at the State Department of Health when I started back in '84, and he signed my personnel action. I worked for Grant County as a typist clerk, and then I transferred out here a year later, and now he's the administrator here as I'm leaving from education. So he called me this morning to say, congratulate me too, and to say that he had been a part of all my, from the beginning now to the end. So, but as all of us in Sooner Start, we have stories. I can reflect back and think of a lot of them, starting going out to these homes and finding out that maybe that wasn't a good home to be in, later, and you hear these stories, and I think we all, like I said, have those. And then moving on up to regional coordinator and driving out to the panhandle of Guyman, and but that's a good team out there, and it was good folks there to work with. And then moving on up to program manager as monitor and driving the whole western part of the stage from Ardmore to Guyman. So, but everyone's been great to work with. I've loved this program, just as I know you all do too. And from the health department, people that I've worked with and that have supported me, again to all the education staff. So I just thank you all. I just feel like it's hard, but kind of like Cynthia said, it's a new chapter, and I feel like I just need to move on right now and take care of myself. So, but I'm glad you all are here, and I see more coming in. So, thank you.
Well, I don't know that I have a lot of extras to say, other than Jeanette and Luann and I did get the opportunity to do something pretty cool, which was kind of re-envision our monitoring system with the Sooner Start program. And I have to say that there's no way that I would have been able to do it alone without Jeanette and Luann. I would tell you that they did most of the work. They would just call me and say, hey, Cynthia, did you finally read the email that we sent you about the new procedures that we put in place? And I would say, okay, I promise I will take it home. I will read it tonight. I promise I'll give you some feedback. Because we were always so busy. But one thing I did know is that I didn't necessarily really need to read it, because the two of them did and still do such a great job that I knew it was going to be a perfect product anyway. So they didn't really need me. I just needed them more than they needed me, I would tell you. And I wouldn't have been able to pull off what I did the last 2 years at the Department of Education without them, because I had also the same thing with Part C. I also had the same thing with Part B. And so I already had Part C knowledge base, and so I had to learn that Part B knowledge base that I didn't have. So I did have to spend more time on that than my true love, which is early intervention, and it always will be. I love the early intervention program, and I like Jeanette. This is the best thing we have in this state. This is the best program that our tax dollars spend money on. And I would apologize to any health department person here, because I love the health department as well, and I've worked in many of them that Jeanette's worked in Woodward and Guyman and El Reno. But I do believe Sooner Start is just a wonderful program, and I'm glad I got to be in it, and I'm so glad I got to work with Jeanette and Mark and every one of you guys. You made a big impression on my life, and I've worked with a lot of you health department folks here, and so I really appreciate Jeanette and all that she's done for the program. And she and I started, I think, on the same day. Did you start in January of '92, January 6th of 1992? Yeah. I started that day, and there were 11 of us that all started that day from across the state. And John, I think, had called us all on December 27th, 1991. I was telling them, I wanted this resource coordinator job so bad, and I was working at DHS in child welfare, and I had applied for the job, but I didn't get on until the second round of resource coordinators got on. I didn't get on with the first bunch, which I think was Ellen, and Michelle Presley. I didn't get on with that bunch. And Sean, you were on too, weren't you, in October of '91? I didn't get on with that bunch. I got on in October. Well, I got interviewed again in October of '92 with Jeanette. And then I think we all got the call at the end of December. And so that was a very special day for all of us, John. We were all so thrilled. And he hired 4 people out of the Cleveland County DHS office I was in. He cleaned them out that day. So, but anyway, Jeanette, congratulations on a wonderful, wonderful career. And you know your story about transferring from Grant County. I didn't even know that story about you until about 3 or 4 months ago when we were talking about it in my office at SDE. So
yeah, so
anyway.
I worked here. I don't think I finished telling everyone that. I worked here as a typist clerk from '85 till '91, '92. When the administrator here at that time and the lead clinician for guidance was Debbie Anderson with the speech, and she came to me and said, "You have your education degree, right? Well, we've got this program coming, you know." And so David Wattenbarger and her kind of let me know about this, and that's how I was able to then transition right on in. So yeah, it's from the front office back to this back office.
Well, maybe I should, I was going to say, give equal time to John.
Well, thanks, Cynthia and Mark and Lori Lori, thanks to you for all you've done to put this together today.
And Vicki.
And Vicki.
And everybody else who helped.
Custer County Health Department and for Jay for hosting us today. And I know that Jay would probably echo about what I'm going to say about Jeanette, that you know, when I think of Jeanette and her service to Sooner Start, having a kind of a unique perspective of being both with the Department of Education for 22 years and now the Health Department for over 10, I think Jeanette epitomizes what kind of the founding fathers of Sooner Start thought, and that would be a program, although led by principally the 2 major state agencies, education and health, but it would be a program that, if working effectively, you really never knew what agency the person represented, but the person represented the program. And the mission of that program is serve infants and toddlers who needed help in their families. And I think Jeanette is a perfect epitome of that, because when I think of her, I don't think of Department of Education, when I don't think of her formerly when she was with the Health Department. I think of her as Sooner Start, and kind of the leader, one of the leaders of Sooner Start in the western half of the state. And I don't know, Jeanette, if there's a better compliment than that in Jeanette, you've always just been about the mission of the program and what it stands for, regardless of who you work for or where you work, you know, for what administrator or whatever, but you stood for the program. And that's what we always envisioned for this program, and you have just been able to actualize that in your career. And other than that, I would also thank you for your commitment to Sooner Start all these years. I don't know if I've ever had a crossword for you, and I've never heard you have a crossword for anyone else. And even though your husband and your family notwithstanding.
Those on that house stays at home.
All I can say is that I've never met a person working in Sooner Start that ever had a crossword for you or for you for them. And no matter all the stresses that you have had in this program, which can be very stressful, given the demands that we have and the issues that we work with, and now the challenges that you have in other ways, you have always gone about your business with a smile on your face and a positive remark for anybody that you worked with. And for that, you have my utmost respect. And all I can say is, on behalf of the State Health Department, thank you for all the years. Thank you for your commitment. Thanks for all of the memories, and Godspeed on your very, very happy and blessed retirement. Thank you for all you do.
We're gonna do cake, I guess. Let me go get the knife. Oh, there is. I'm sorry. If you'd like to, there's a sign-in sheet over here, as well as if you'll look, if you go out into this hallway, there's a little fun little word game you can play out there. And so I would love for you guys to go out there and do that as well. So. Everyone's so quiet. I guess we need to see a picture. I need to take a picture.
Your signature.